And at this time, it is my pleasure to yield to the chief sponsor of this legislation, the gentlewoman from Tennessee, Ms. Blackburn, for 5 minutes.
Gentlelady from Tennessee is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I do rise in support of my amendment to prevent the expansion of the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program that was indeed unlawfully put in place by an executive memo on August 15th of 2012. What this amendment does is to return us to the original language of H.R. 5160. Plus, it strengthens that original language by looking beyond July 30th. And what it will do is to tie the President's hands as to future executive actions that he might take to expand amnesty for illegal entrance into this country. It would freeze DACA. Now, I want to read the bill because it's not a lengthy bill. And beginning on line 1 with Section 1, limitation on deferred action for childhood arrivals, restrictions on employment authorization for aliens not in lawful states. No agency or instrumentality of the federal government may use federal funding or resources after July 30th, 2014. 1. To consider or adjudicate any new or previously denied application of any alien requesting consideration of deferred action for childhood arrivals as authorized by the executive memo dated June 15, 2012 and effective on August 15, 2012, or by any other succeeding executive memorandum or policy authorizing a similar program. And number 2, to newly authorize deferred action for any class of aliens not lawfully present in the United States. And number 3, to authorize any alien to work in the U.S. if such alien, A, was not lawfully admitted into the U.S. in compliance with the Immigration and Nationality Act, USC 1101 et sec, and B, is not in lawful status in the U.S. on the date of the enactment of this act. That's it. That is it. That is what is in this piece of legislation. What it does, in effect, is to give Central American children a false hope. It says that they're going to be able to obtain amnesty as those before them have done in this program. And the reason we are so concerned about this, and the reason my colleagues have come and have talked about their concerns, what is happening is you have the traffickers, you have the smugglers, you have the coyotes who are preying on these innocent people. And they believe if these children can make it here, they will get amnesty. It is a false hope. Certainly we know and we care about these families. We know these countries want to get their children back and reunite them with their families in their home countries. Now, Mr. Speaker, what we are hearing is that the administration would like to expand DACA. Indeed, we have heard that the President has instructed Secretary Johnson and General Holder to come up with a list of executive actions to address immigration. The increase and the statistics that Mr. Labrador gave us on the percentages of increase cannot be denied. We see what is happening on this border. Mr. Poe talked about what he has seen happening with those families. And true to form, just as Governor Perry warned us in 2012 that this was going to happen, indeed it is. We are seeing this unprecedented increase going back to 2009, looking at where we are with today, with the children, with the teens, with the adults that are streaming across this border and are disrupting life along the southern border for American families. I want to make one other point. Chairman Goodlatte mentioned this earlier. Mr. Chairman, the House is not in order.
Gentlelady is correct. House is not in order. Gentlelady deserves to be heard. Gentlelady may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We've talked a little bit about the Constitution tonight, and indeed we all know that when you look at the Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 4, that is where those enumerated powers are given to Congress. They're given to Congress. Mr. Chairman, the House is not in order.
Gentlelady will suspend. Proceedings in the House will not continue until the House is in order. Those members who prefer to have conversations, if you would respectfully remove those conversations from the floor. Gentlelady may continue.
I thank you, Mr. Chairman. As I said, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 4, the powers are given to Congress to establish, and I'm quoting the Constitution, a uniform rule of naturalization.
Gentlelady's time has expired.
And I yield back.
And I yield back the balance of our time.